Spice things up with the sound of a Wilhauk beef jerky bag being torn open. It's the carol that everyone wants to hear, promising a chorus of tender, perfectly spiced beef jerky. This holiday season, make sure you're Wilhauking around the Christmas tree with Alberta's best beef jerky. Available at Wilhauk Beef Jerky in Leduc.
Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor@sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
You wanted local sports on weekends. Saturday mornings at 9, check out the Saturday Sports Setup, where we'll tee up what's happening on the weekend sports scene. Tune in Saturday morning at 9 on Sports 1440.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and people often ask me, hey, Rick, do people actually buy RVs from No Bull in the fall?
Fair question, Rick. Why would you want to buy an RV just when it's time to put it away in storage for the winter?
And I have the answer, Bob, because the RVs at No Bull are used. And that means every RV on our lot is a one-of-a-kind. So when you're looking for a used RV, you can be really picky.
One of a kind means you don't have to compromise on what you're looking for.
That's right, Bob. But it also means when you find the right one, you grab it up before someone else does. Sometimes that's in the fall. But No Bull makes it easy because when you buy your used RV now, we include winterization and winter storage for free. We even get it prepared for spring camping at no charge to you. All you need to do is be ready for the great outdoors come next spring. When you think of it that way, the fall might be the best time to get your RV.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Welcome to the Lowdown. Today's show, the Glimmer Twins get some satisfaction. Stuart Skinner is exiled on Main Street, and the Oilers never kept a dollar past sunset, but they need a veteran number 3 center. I mean, they really do need one. The Lowdown is brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner. You're guaranteed a minimum $500 bonus on your new vehicle purchase. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. As you know, we are live on YouTube and Sports 1440. Online at iHeartRadio, sports1440.ca, and Radio Player Canada. After the show, we're on Apple and Spotify podcast, and we thank you for listening. We tweet it out on X as well. We're on Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, and at JFenwick04, and you can text or call anytime, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. You are the heart of the show when you text, and we appreciate it. Okay. We have Kevin McCurdy coming up at 1 o'clock today. Mike Stelter will join us as well at 12:40. We're going to talk a lot about the Edmonton Oilers and about last night, which I think was a huge game for the Edmonton Oilers and for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It tells you exactly where they are, and I think Stuart Skinner might be in a new town by this time next year. We'll talk about that and more. Okay, it's time for the introductions. If he were a song, it would need to be a theme from a beloved movie. So it's Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, how are you?
If I could have a song that was from a movie, I would say City of Stars from La La Land. Love it. Super good.
There you go. If he were a song, it would need to be a hip thumper and a song no one over 35 has on their Spotify end of the year list. So it's Drips Too Hard. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger.
Yeah. Drip Too Hard by Lil Baby and Gunna. Really one of the songs that put Baby on the map there.
I think it's his number one Billboard hit on the Hot 100.
Yeah, so he hit number 1 as a feature with Drake on Wants and Needs. This was his highest charting song, and I believe it hit number 4. Might have hit number 2. I'm going to try and play it later. It's an awesome song. Not really built for radio,
right?
But what a shout. And thank you for that, and please go listen.
Okay, so let me ask you something, and this is just an aside. I'm never going to listen to all the Lil Baby songs, I'm sure 20 of them. How many songs involve profanity we could not play on Canadian radio?
Oh, that would be all of them. But the other thing, by the way, 47 Billboard charting songs, the same as Prince and Paul McCartney. So that 20 little jab you gave, not going to fly around here.
The intro was too positive. I didn't really get under your skin at all, so I had to throw out the 20 songs. Okay, let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers last night. Here's what I noticed. When Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are playing at the level they currently are excelling at, there's not a lot you can do. And Stuart Skinner didn't have a great night, but the defense in front of him didn't either. That was a tough evening for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're in a different part of the competitive cycle than the Edmonton Oilers, and that was shown pretty wildly last night. I thought the Oilers played well. I love Alec Regula is coming. I'm cheering for him. I don't know if he's going to make it as a top 4 or even top 6 defenseman, but you can see what they like about Alec Regula. He's a big guy with reasonable passing skills and a good, brain for offense. His pass to Matt Savoy, the puck should never have got in, but it was a great pass. And that's the key. I thought the top 2 lines were great. I liked the pairings. Honestly, I liked them all. I like young Stastny as well. The third line just is not. It's not a happening thing. I like Janmark. I like Mangiapane. I like Henrique. As a group, last night they had stats I've never, ever seen in my life. I'm going to read them to you, and I'm going to tell you at the beginning, these are contradictory numbers that should be impossible, okay? They played 831 together at 5-on-5, owned an 84% expected goal share, had 2 high danger chances to 0. 2 high danger chances, none against, and 0 shots on goal. That's you score goals with shots on goal, and they were never in the game. And I love the fact that they had a great expected goal share because the puck was at the other end of the rink the whole night, and the 2 high dangers are fine. But I do believe the Edmonton Oilers, who by the way are out of money. This is a country song. They don't have money to go get a third-line center, meaning that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has to play third-line center, and maybe a guy like Ike Howard moves up to the McDavid line or Savoy or something like that, or maybe they can find an inexpensive third-line center, or maybe, just maybe, Curtis Lazar, who I can't believe he wasn't injured and out 6 months after that play last night. But it was a fun game to watch if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan. I did think that Tristan Jarry played well. The Oilers have a bad habit of kind of saying, well, the game's over, and then playing like it. Pittsburgh came in and scored a couple of goals late, which, sucks for the save percentage. But, Stuart Skinner had to deal with it. Looks like Tristan Jarry will as well. If the Oilers ever figure out how to play without the puck and cover well, and protect a 3-goal lead, they will win the Stanley Cup. There's no doubt in my mind. They just have to have that difficult thing, which always eluded me as a broadcaster and as an individual, attention to detail. It's a big damn deal. All right. What do you guys think about last night's game?
Man, so this is my thing. I never really thought, maybe that's a little strong, but I didn't think I would ever feel bad for Stuart Skinner. But I felt bad for him, man. I think Stuart Skinner, he's had some big games. He's had some big moments, but I think he's had more than a few instances where he's been a little mentally small. And I think this game was such an example of a game he was going to get fried the whole way through. He was so up against it in terms of everything, going against his former team immediately. Leon Draisaitl's 1000th point, he had everything staring directly at him, and I just kind of figured he wouldn't be able to handle it, and evidently he didn't. Connor McDavid's goal where he just did that thing he does where he just skates in the zone because he's better than everyone and he gets past 1 or 2 guys. Stu didn't even try on that goal. He didn't even bother trying because he just knew it was a foregone conclusion. I was really hoping he was going to stand tall on that 5-on-3. I had a tweet ready and gearing to go, but it just it was the most expected result I could have ever dreamed of for Stuart Skinner playing the Edmonton Oilers. Everything you thought would happen the way it happened. And I feel bad for Stu because Tony Brar tweeted that video of everyone celebrating and Stu's just there looking to the other side, clearing his crease. And after the empty netter, McDavid gives him the old pad touch. And after the game, he hugs it out with Ryan McDavid. You do feel bad for the guy. You wanted the hometown kid to have it a little bit better here, even though I was one of the people calling for another goalie. But man, it was an expected game.
Well, I'll say this, that you don't have to worry about goaltending anymore because Tristan Jarry's here and Skinner was awful. Jarry's great. That's the deal, right? Like, we don't ever have to worry about Stuart Skinner or bad goaltending because Skinner's not here.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
We certainly don't have to worry about Stuart. Like, I think we all think Jarry's a touch better.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
But my point is that Tristan Jarry's save percentage
he's
for
not
the
gonna
Edmonton
be,
Oilers.
He's not going to be perfect.
Tristan Jarry's save percentage for the Edmonton Oilers is actually worse than Stuart Skinner's was.
Yeah, but if you keep scoring 6 goals a night, then who cares?
Well, somebody will.
Hold on.
Someone unless
you
someone
get to
scores 7.
Colorado in
Yeah, I
the
was going to
playoffs.
say, all of a sudden you're
Well,
going to
I guess
Colorado
the
and score
Stars
1
and the
then
Abs
hang.
do not care. They have scored more than 6 on the Oilers this season.
That's true. All right, what are your thoughts?
I'm with Declan. I feel maybe not the whole sentiment of like, oh, this is the most expected Stuart Skinner game ever, whatever.
And I say that lovingly. I say that as like
But,
a loving brother.
Yesterday, Hyman puts it in, and I was just like, oh, Stu, like he was on the team 4 days ago, and like he should have been a part of that scrum, but he just wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's him who let Dry get his 1,000th point. You're like, God, like this sucks. I was blown away with the play of Draisaitl even after getting the 1,000th point, though.
Yeah,
like it seemed like that Habs game, they were just feeding Leon the puck. Like they just wanted him to get 1,000 so bad, and then like he gets away from it pretty early in this game, and it seemed to just take a weight off everyone's shoulders, I guess, of like, we don't have to worry about getting this guy his 1,000th point anymore, which, by the way, you didn't have to anyways. He had 999 career points,
which is good.
And solid, some would say. And you're 30 games into the season. Guess what? He's going to get another point. Like, everything's going to be okay. But then they started humming along. 14 seconds later, Connor McDavid has a Connor McDavid goal. The only guy on the planet that can make a goal like that. So I just wish that Sid put up a better effort on the other end.
The Penguins played poorly. I mean, we can bury Skinner all we want, but the Penguins played forward. The McDavid getting to the net meant somebody didn't do their job on the breakaway.
Yeah,
right?
but it's also like, how do you can't really stop that.
Even like the
but if you're
Podkolzin
going to
goal,
call out, if you're
Rust
going to
let
say
him get away.
Skinner didn't try, then what did the defenseman do on that play?
Oh, come on, you can't defend Skinner on that goal. He didn't.
You
even
can't
move.
defend the defenseman on the goal either.
Yeah, but it's a little like. I
it's
get
the
what you're
same
saying.
thing.
I get
mean,
what you're saying.
Nobody played McDavid
There has
well.
to be shared blame on that.
Right.
You can't just say, oh, well, Skinner didn't do anything. Well, his defense didn't do anything to help him out either. Like,
here's the thing I will say.
5 goals and had a 770.
I never, and maybe it's because I'm older, but I would never feel sorry for Stuart Skinner. Like, I would never pity him because he's a professional athlete. He's a man, and he is in the situation that life has allowed him to have. There are many people who'd love to be in Stuart Skinner's situation. He didn't play well, and he needs to play better if he's going to, the Penguins have like goalies to the sky. And Skinner is, and I'm sorry to say this, if this makes people upset or angry, because I know there's a lot of Stuart Skinner fans, but he's playing for his NHL career. That's a fact. And if he doesn't play better, then he's going to get a 1-year, $1 million deal from some team that isn't, playoff bound. And they'll be thinking, well, maybe he'll play well enough that we can trade him for a 3rd-round pick at the deadline. Skinner got traded after going to, the Stanley Cup final 2 years in a row. And that is a reflection of Stuart Skinner and the way he's playing now. So it is a challenge for him. It is an opportunity for him, but he has to play better than he did last night. Now, I'm sure his mind was an absolute whirlwind, especially after the Hyman goal, because that's the 1,000th point. You're watching your buddies celebrate, and it was not the kind of game that you wanted to have. Here's the deal. He has to have better games or he won't be in the NHL, and that's the same challenge that Devin Dubnyk had. And let's remember, Dubnyk did have some difficult times. I think he went to Nashville, and then he recovered his career in Arizona, and then he went to Minnesota, and he had a really good, a long career with the Minnesota Wild. I think that's possible for Skinner, but he has to play better than he did last night. And I would never pity a professional athlete, because guess what? They're professional athletes, so there's no reason to pity them. But having said that, he needs to be better. I think the Oilers need to be better too, because Jari is a better goaltender. But you actually do have to play defense in front of them. And that's really 2 wins in a row where the Oilers sort of let their foot off the gas a little bit, and they're allowing goals late, which is a bad look in December. And it's the end of your season in April and May if you do it. So those are my opinions on it. I thought that most teams last night would have had trouble with the McDavid line and the Draisaitl line. I think every team in the NHL would love to play the Henrique line because they're never going to score. And I will just pause a minute to say, once again, I'm shocked that Curtis Lazar came back after that injury. I'll be interested in seeing what the word is on him today. And congratulations to Quinn Hudson. He had played 2 games last year as part of his deal in the NHL, but he got a call-up. He did not play much. I didn't think that he would, but in his very brief time on the line with Connor McDavid, he showed well, and hopefully he'll get a little more time as this little, I guess, cup of coffee or audition of his continues. Going to be a pretty wild time, I have to say, for young Hudson, because you can send him back, but he's already proven everything that he had to prove in the American Hockey League.
Let's give him and Fred's a little more ice time, though. I know we're all out on Trent Fred. Like, come on, 7 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I think you got to bench Trent Frederick.
No, I agree. I actually totally agree. Like, this is not a pro Trent Frederick sentiment. This is just like, let's give our bottom a little bit more than 7 minutes.
I think honestly,
you're scoring 6 goals.
I think you need to, like Frederick, I'm sure he's under a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah.
And I would give him, there is such a thing as, giving the guy, come back January 2nd, because he cannot catch up to the puck. His coverage is terrible because he can't skate like he normally does. So he's like, why am I not getting there? Because you could go look at NHL Edge. His speed is bad, and that's a concern. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, can I ask you a question about Frederick?
Sure.
Is there kind of like, because you've been very pro Trent Frederick, that you think he'll return to form once.
Yeah.
Is there a point, like maybe a date on the calendar or X amount of games past the injury where you're like, okay, I'm starting to change my mind?
Oh, that's a great question. And I'm going to look on Sports Forecaster right now, because they're really good at updating when people get injured. I don't know if you guys know that, but if you're ever wondering, hey, when did that guy get hurt? Sports Forecaster is really good because they update all that stuff. He injured himself. Remember, he came over and then he was delayed playing. So he had last year in March of 2025, he had a lower body injury week to week. And that was going, from February 27th of 2025 when he was still a Bruin. Then he missed 18 games. So he came back on the 5th of April, and then he had an ankle injury on the 7th of April. He missed the last 6 regular season games, and then he played in the playoffs, but he was a shadow of himself. So the last thing we heard, April 7th, was the injury and high ankle sprain. He had re-injured it. So that's, he takes the season off. That's April, May, June, July, August. He played, I guess, in April. So let's say he got off July, August, September, he's back. So I would say if next June he's not playing like Trent Frederick should, then I would consider buying him out. But if he by playoff times, remember Connor Brown came here and he just wasn't the same guy.
Oh, I remember it. Great Battle of Alberta. He scored his first goal of the season. I was playing poker with my friends in the basement of his, and I was like, unbelievable. And I think he finished the year with like 4.
Yeah.
But then in the playoffs, he was absolutely nails.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what you hope for. So I got a lot of room for Trent Frederick. I've seen him play really well. But look, I understand why people are so mad and so upset. He's just not in the game. He has a great desire. I know that because I watched him play. But he can't get to the play because of the high ankle sprain and the recovery from it. And not everybody recovers at the same timeline. On my blog, people are like, this guy, he should be recovered from now. But look at that injury. Read about the injury. It's a tough one. And April 7th, according to Sports Forecaster, was when he had re-injured it. So that's not that long ago, right? and he's trying to get back, and the Oilers are playing him, which I think is a mistake. And I know you can't put him on LTIR, but you could give him a couple of weeks off and maybe have him recover or skate a lot and get better that way. Because if you can't get to the transaction because you're not fast enough, then you're not in the NHL. You're just playing on NHL ice. And that's where Trent Frederick is. And it's too bad. And I love him as a player, but I would not buy him out or trade him or any of those things until I absolutely knew that, I guess it's possible that a high ankle sprain alters your career, but I hope it doesn't, because he would be a very useful player if he was 100%. Does that answer your question?
Oh, absolutely. It was a great answer. It answered it and then some.
I have to ask you really quickly. We're going to take a break. We got Mike Stelter coming up at 12:40. We've got Kevin McCurdy coming up at 1 o'clock. The Dolphins are changing out their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea?
I don't know, man.
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters is probably the biggest one. And also, you've put such an investment in Tua that this now, it seems like it just closes the door on Tua. And is that the right decision? Is that the wrong decision? I don't know, but he is owed a lot of money.
I feel like it's a grumpy coach and general manager kind of blaming the quarterback for their season. Is that fair?
He's been very bad. He leads the league in interceptions. So
15 of them.
And does he have a great offensive line and great receivers?
He's got good.
He's got a good
talent
receiver
at receiver with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, because Tyreek's been out.
Tyreek's obviously
6
been hurt,
weeks,
but he's got a good running game he can lean on. He's got a great back he can lean on. He's got a very offensive-minded coach. I'm not here to say the Dolphins are the poster boy of a good organization or a good team, but he's got a lot of stuff around him that should make him a better quarterback than he is.
Okay, and final question, then we'll take a break, because I this has been picking at me because I don't like it when this happens to losing teams, and the Dolphins are a losing team. What are the odds that they've gone and done themselves Cleveland Browns here, where they're burying a guy who's going to go to a new city in the NFL and do very well?
And it's always possible if you find the right coach. I tend to think it's not a Baker Mayfield situation.
Okay. All right. Is it because he's left-handed and you don't like left-handed people like me?
Oh, I think left-handed quarterbacks look so sick.
Yeah,
Baker
really
won a
is.
playoff game. That's another one.
See, listen, he doesn't even hear about the left-handed. He just goes right to the jugular.
Josh is left-handed.
I'm not.
Oh, he's got left-handed vibes.
I literally can't
How
do
long have
anything
you
with my
two
left
worked
hand.
together, over there where you would
7
see?
months?
Yeah, 7 months, and you didn't bother to
Hey,
figure out what.
how about this? I've dated my girlfriend for about 3 years. We were writing Christmas cards last night, and she asked me if I was left-handed. So,
And then you said, "Sorry, what color are your eyes?"
I'm not criticizing your girlfriend. That is a no wins. I can harpoon you, but I'm not criticizing your girlfriend.
Me neither.
She had every reason not to know you were not left-handed. All right, it's 12:19 on the way. It's Rumors. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Across the province, Albertans are taking their shot on Play Alberta. With casino winners every hour, jackpots work. And that now has 6 goals in the last 4 games. Oh, here's McCabe breaking through.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check out their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner at wolfgmcbuick.com. I must say, Declan, that was a great pull. What a wonderful song. Man, I am tonight. Ma'am, I am tonight. Haven't heard in a while. Rumors is brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. We believe you should create your own electricity. Let's build a brighter, sustainable future with GreatCanadianSolar.com. Everyone is abuzz about the game last night. I mean, it was outstanding. And Connor McDavid has 9 goals and 20 points in 8 December games. I have an article up at The Athletic about it. Really, Al? Yes, I do. And I see it as being 3 things that have really turned it around for him. Number 1, Zach Hyman returning, and then Zach Hyman returning to form. And then also Ryan Nugent-Hopkins moving up from center to left wing. I was against it. I still am, because I think it really hurts the third line. And then the third thing is, and it's in the article, they're playing him less. They're playing him more on the power play, but about a minute less at 5-on-5, and he's no longer on the penalty kill. So those 3 reasons, you can read about it in The Athletic, are impacting Connor McDavid's play. And they're doing a little better job of the outlet passes, too. Those long stretch passes, although they're still in existence, they're not exactly central to the offense as they were about a month ago when I was bitching and moaning and you were getting sick of me. They're not that big a deal now. The New York Rangers have made multiple roster moves, mostly in pursuit of offense. Gabriel Perreault and Brendan Othman have been recalled. Brett Berard and Yaroslav Shelmar are being sent down. This is a team that not that long ago had everything going in the right direction. And then they fired their general manager. They brought in a new manager, and everything's gone sideways. And so what has to happen in a situation like this, and I've seen it before many times, so have you, is the owner has to get sick of his hand-picked general manager, fire him, and then they've got to go find another general manager who's ready to make that leap and be effective. It's tough if you're a fan of the New York Rangers, because you felt like you were close. Drury comes in and nothing works, nothing rhymes. They start, identifying players who are the problem, and then they send them out for 10 cents on the dollar. It's the worst. It's just the absolute worst. And I remember in 2006, I remember Kevin Lowe, who, by the way, had a great deadline. They needed to sign a bunch of guys. They needed to sign Dwayne Rollison, Fernando Pisani, lots of different guys, and they were signing them to contracts. And Ryan Smith said, I'm not taking a hometown discount. Now, this is like a year before he had to sign a contract with the Oilers. And from that moment on, it became like a distraction for the organization. And, you can blame Lowe, you can blame Smith, you can blame nobody, but that's what it became. And eventually, Ryan Smith was traded. And what you're left with is a team that had gone to the Stanley Cup final, lost Pronger, and then everything fell apart. It was like the cheapest suit you've ever bought. What's the cheapest suit you've ever bought, Josh?
It would have been from Moore's. It was probably about $350.
That's not a bad suit.
It's the only suit I've ever had.
Do you have more than one tie, more than one shirt?
I mean, technically, but
But what about like a sweater that you could wear over your suit, your shirt and tie, but also wear the suit jacket?
No, I don't have one of those.
Right. If you were at a wedding, say, would you wear the suit?
I would.
Okay. So it's a suit that makes you look good.
All suits make all men look good. That's
not true.
Yes, it is.
No, I'm sorry.
A man looks better in a suit. I've been told that multiple times.
No, I'll show you photographs of myself, and you'll disagree once you see them. Now, having said that, why do you go to weddings?
I don't go to weddings.
No.
I haven't been to a wedding in 5-6 years, probably.
Okay. Well, then I'll ask you this question in 5 years.
Sure.
And then you'll give me an honest answer.
Well, you can ask me next
we'll
September. I'll go to 2.
We'll be working in the shoe industry at that time. With Jarmo Kekalainen taking over, everybody's talking about, what's going to happen to all these soon-to-be free agents. Alex Tuch mostly. What Tuch might want to do, and the Sabres might have an appetite to do this, because there will be an increased need to show that they're not bleeding out talent, which they've been doing for like 20 years now. But if they can sign Tuch, maybe they can sign some of these other guys and not trade him, because it really has become like a farm team for other teams that are trying to win. And that's too bad. Speaking of farm teams that are trying to win, the Calgary Flames. I'm sorry, did that hurt?
Yeah, it did. They're not a farm team.
Yeah, they are.
They have fine talent.
Okay. Who's the last big free agent to be or famous player that they traded away for something less than immediate help?
That would be Matthew Tkachuk.
Okay. And so that means that they're going to sign Rasmus Anderson, and he won't be traded because they're not rebuilding. They're just reloading. And Rasmus Anderson is a big part of the team, and he's not going anywhere. Even though the Athletica has number 1 on the trade list, they're going to sign him because they don't care about any of that. Rasmus Anderson is staying in Calgary.
I think he's been pretty clear about the fact that he does want to stay in Calgary per insiders. So them holding on to him this long is not surprising, though. He did not start at the year very well, and now he is looking quite good. So that trade value is going up and up and up. So
but they're not going to trade him, because why would you trade him?
They should trade him.
Well, are they rebuilding or are they reloading?
They're reloading, but why would you reload with a guy that doesn't want to be there when you could trade him away for 2 pieces that could help
now
you?
You sound like Kevin Lowe trading Ryan Smith.
Wow.
We got 3 pieces, he said.
But if you get 2 pieces that are by themselves lesser than Rasmus Anderson, but put together they are about the same or maybe produce more.
The one thing I will say for your team is they do seem to have good pro scouting.
Yeah.
So it might be okay.
Maybe. Probably not, but we'll see.
Do you know who the most uneasy head coach in the NHL is right now?
Lindy Ruff.
Yes. Jarmo Kekalainen, per Jeff Merrick at Daily Faceoff, said that Kekalainen did not offer a firm commitment to head coach Lindy Ruff, instead stating that all aspects of the club's hockey operations, including a head coach, would need to be evaluated. So my question for you is, would you rather, because if somebody says he's not in any imminent danger, then he's gone. Fitzgerald in New Jersey is an example. He's gone. It's just a matter of time. So would you rather have that where the owner comes out and says, no, everything's fine, he's not in imminent danger at all, or would you rather have what Kekalainen said?
I think I'd rather have what Kekalainen said, all things considered.
Because it's honest.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, everything's being assessed. And then Lindy Ruff knows that his job is gone.
That's the other thing. He knows.
Yeah.
And let's be honest here, the Sabres aren't going anywhere this year, right?
They're not going anywhere for the next 5 years, man. They're so bad.
They are.
But they have the talent is the
they
problem.
They do everything wrong all the time.
But they're always just barely wrong.
This is their problem.
They're right there.
Their problem is exactly what happened with the Oilers when they had Hall and Nuge and Eberle, but they couldn't get veterans to come here. They'd get Belanger and Eric Belanger and Cam Barker. If you're Buffalo, you need to have this young core. You need to keep Alex Tuch, but you need to trade for a player who's a veteran and can show them the way and won a Stanley Cup. You need to get Malkin on that team or somebody like that. It's not going to happen. Yeah. It didn't happen for the Oilers either. But you need to build, layer your team. You've got your young guys who are fantastic, and they have that. And you even with Tuch have your middling guys, some of them anyway, like your mid-career guys, and then you need the older group. And they don't have enough of that, and they never have. And they got to make a decision on a goaltender. Good Lord. You can't have 5 goalies. If you have 5 goalies, you have no goalies. And that's where they are. And you know what? Kekalainen will figure it out. I'm not saying they're going to be good tomorrow, but I think they'll be good, long term. The Phillies have signed Brad Keller. Interesting pickup. They've been signing arms for the bullpen like crazy. The Jays have been doing that too a little bit, but I think they're behind a little bit. I wanted to talk about this. It's 12:32, and I want to send the floor or the con, I guess, over to you and Declan, Josh. And it's in regard to this. The NBA Cup was played last night. The Knicks won, and everybody's talking about it. So when this first started, I thought it was kind of a joke, an internal championship like in December or whatever. But the players seem to love this stuff.
Well, they get an extra $500,000 each when they win. So
is that good?
No. But like it also came out that the Knicks aren't going to raise the banner. Good. Like good job. Why would you raise a banner? I know the Lakers and the Bucks both did it, but like,
it's
come
not
on.
an NBA.
Honestly, it's just an extra payday. I still don't find it very exciting. The matchup for the final I thought was good. But
what about you, Declan?
It's gonna mean something to these young players. Like it's going to factor into legacy. If we're comparing Chet and Wemby in 25 years, and we're talking like, Wemby got 4 MVPs and he got 2 chips, and Chet's got the 4 chips, and Wemby has 3 NBA cups, and Chet has 2. Like it's going to factor in. It's never going to be the pinnacle of accomplishment the way a championship is. It's not going to mean as much as an MVP. It's not going to mean as much as an individual accolade such as All NBA, but it's going to mean something. Like it's so evident by how these guys play. They all play harder for the NBA Cup than they do other regular season games.
Can I expound on that? Can I ask you a question to follow that up?
Yeah.
So right now it's in its formative period, but like in soccer, for instance, there are lots of different, cups and honors and things that are, tournaments internally that are played for through the year. And they even have like the Derby and stuff like that. So is this sort of a North American genesis of that kind of thing where in season you can have a championship that matters?
Yeah, like I think that's definitely part of it. Like I'm not going to pretend the overarching reason for this isn't just Adam Silver being obsessed with new shiny toys and trying to make tournaments, quote unquote, fun. Yeah, loves his tournaments.
Not TV though.
Well, I like if it makes dollars, it makes sense. Like that's like I said, that's the overarching point of all this. But there is no debate that these players, it means something to them. You can tell by the way they play.
I think when this
financial incentive's a big part of it for sure.
I think when 15 years from now or whatever, when both Wemby and Chet are retired, maybe, I think we'll look at NBA Cups like we look at Rookie of the Year. Congratulations, but why does that matter?
I think it'll mean more. It'll never mean as much as a championship. It'll never mean as much as an MVP, but it will mean something to these players.
I just think it's going to be something that's like thrown in like, oh yeah, and then Wemby won 4 NBA Cups or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, but
the other thing is, like, I think it's only going to grow. Like, we've already seen from the first year when the Lakers won it to last year when the Bucks won it to this year when the Knicks won it. Like, it's only getting bigger in stature.
You mean when Darvin Ham won it 2 times in a row?
Shout out the hamster.
He was undefeated in NBA Cup for 2 years straight.
The thing. You and I both know, Josh, right now Declan's saying this is going to matter. But if the Heat ever get into it, it'll be the biggest story on this show for like weeks.
The Heat'll dude, the Heat, the same way they lose in the play-in every year or win the play-in and then get crushed by the 1 seed, they will lose in the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup. It will be exactly what it always is for this Heat team. Shout out the Heat, though.
They have to change the courts, though, going forward.
The courts have grown on me, too.
I just like some of them look nice. Like the Spurs had a great court this year. I thought that looked really great.
Looks but like a court I'd want to play on.
Wow.
Oh my God! Why do they need to be like neon orange for the Thunder? Like it is an eyesore.
I'm going to change the subject and then we're going to take a break.
Sure.
Okay.
Is it Boba Fett?
No. Oh, has he signed yet?
He has not signed yet, but he told everyone that he's open to playing second base. So I think that
Boston.
You think Boston?
I do.
In division? You think he goes from?
Well, he can sign anywhere he wants.
But do you think he goes in division so he can play the Jays 16 times a year or whatever?
If the money's there. By the way, but 2 things. Number 1, first of all, just wanted to let you know that Mike Stelter's coming up to talk Ben's Cup here in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. But we might talk about this later, and I want to get it out there. The Oscars are going to move to YouTube in 2029. So between now and 2029, one of you guys has to show me how I would be able to bring that up on YouTube.
Okay.
It'll be easy.
Like on the
We'd like
television.
But hey,
You'd
what
like
a,
to think that,
what a
but-
changing of the guard for.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
world is
it's
changing.
happening to everything. Like podcasts are
Dude,
going on Netflix now.
Ryan Russillo, Pardon My Take, Spittin' Chicklets, all gonna be on Netflix early 2026.
Same with The Ringer.
The NBA commissioner said television doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Broadcast don't matter of the games.
He told us to get our ass to the 6-second TikToks and enjoy it.
Yeah, he said to watch highlights. That this is different. The
What I'm
Oscars are
saying
going to
is
YouTube.
the
There's
world
still
is
gonna be the
changing.
same. Yeah, I get it, but like,
doesn't it kind of
telling
feel
us
a
to
little
not
dirty?
watch the full game or whatever is dumb. Like that is a stupid business decision from
A man who had
from a commissioner.
neighbor
Like he's
lock.
probably the stupidest of the 4 commissioners, and guess what? Every single one of them are hated in their sports. Sorry to overgo.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on right now because we have Mike Stelter talking Ben's Cup next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Looking for the perfect gift? Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
Wing Wednesday at First Round. Whether you're coming for the first round, the last round, or a few rounds in between, they've got you covered. With half-price wings every Wednesday night. Half-price wings. Over 35 delicious flavors like Cajun salt and pepper, maple bacon, and Inferno wings. Now half price every Wednesday night. Wash them down with a cold pint of Canadian or Coors Light for only $5.75. Half price Wing Wednesdays at First Round in West End and now downtown. First Round, burgers, beer, sports.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
Get ready, Edmonton. Glow Christmas Festival returns to light up the Edmonton Expo Center from December 4th to 31st with dazzling activities for the entire family. Wander the glowing trails, meet Santa in his sleigh, and shop from over 30 local artisans and vendors with handcrafted gifts and holiday treasures perfect for everyone on your list. Get your tickets and learn more about what's on this season by visiting the calendar of events at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic.
Lowetide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2.
Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
You need the lowdown? It's with Lowetide right now on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 at 1241. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Coming up, we have Kevin McCurdy at 1 o'clock and Declinations Duncan with Declan at 1:40. Right now, though, we're delighted to be joined by Mike Stelter talking about Ben's Cup, bigger and better than ever this year, running December 26th to 30th at Strathcona Recreation Complex. I know you've been involved in a lot of things and a lot of fundraising. This is becoming a mammoth exhibition here, and a lot of people looking forward to it.
Oh, we're so excited for it. It has grown big and sort of become our biggest fundraiser that the foundation has, which is pretty cool.
And it's I say 1,000 kids. You know, like I can be overwhelmed by 2 kids, so I know 1,000. That must be like from a technical point of view, putting us all together. And I know there's coordinators and that stuff, but I'm sure you start planning next year as soon as this year is over.
Pretty much, we've been going pretty hard since summer on this one to make it bigger and better from last year. And last year was incredible. So we have such a cool committee working together on it. And everybody sort of has their area of expertise, and it's just going so smooth.
And it's like, I'm sure you learn year to year, right? Like I just, in my mind, I've been to the Strathcona Recreation Complex. I think that would be ideal for this kind of event. Fair?
100%. They let us sort of take over the building, which is pretty cool. But they have such incredible staff there that are just so accommodating and put in the effort to help make it a successful event. So we're very grateful for them.
After that, after you get all the teams and everybody registered, then you want people to take part in it and enjoy it. And then obviously take part in the raffles and help with the fundraisers. So I'm guessing the best place to do is to head to benscup.com for all the deets.
Absolutely. We have all the details there. You can come out and support the kids on the 26th to 30th. And we have a couple big raffles on the website as well for an Oilers suite for a Saturday game against the Kings, and also a raffle for those permanent Christmas lights that everybody's jealous of their neighbors when they have them. So if you want them, you can hop in on that and hopefully win them for a nice price.
That is a really good prize. I know that Gregor's been talking about it a lot over the last few days, and why not? It's a great prize, and it's a great cause as well. For you, like when I'm thinking about the event and those kids who are out there playing, I'm sure they'd like to have people come by the rink and cheer them on and watch them play, because this is a big tournament for them, and it's competitive, and they're going to be playing their best.
No, absolutely. And this one is more than just hockey, too. So the kids have a fundraising aspect to it. And the top 40 fundraisers get to take part in our All-Star game. We go all out. They get custom jersey, custom swags, All-Star championship ring. They get to play with Hunter from the Oilers. Robert Clark's going to sing the anthem. All the super fans are going to be there. So come out on the 27th at 4:30 or the 29th at 5:30. Is going to be rocking.
I wanted to ask you like a personal question. I know you've worked very hard. I see you here and there and doing things all the time, but I know from talking to you and also hearing you being interviewed, this would be a passion of yours. I'm sure you're really enjoying this aspect of the fundraising.
It's incredible seeing how many kids we get to help, like Ben, because Ben liked helping other kids so much. It's huge, and it is our passion. This is what we're meant to be doing now, and it's going so good, and we're so grateful for all of the support from the community.
Well, Ben touched so many people, and I think that you and everybody involved in Ben's Cup and the organizing throughout the entire year are doing a wonderful job representing his memory. So congratulations to you. Look forward to it, and I hope we get a lot of people who aren't involved now already involved in coming out and seeing these kids.
Incredible. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you having me.
All right. There's Mike Stelter from Ben's Cup. Once again, want to let you know that if you want to get involved, there's lots of ways, but ideally you would go to benscup.com. That's benscup.com. They have an online raffle for permanent Christmas lighting from Astoria Lighting, a sweet raffle for a Saturday game versus the Kings with the Oilers. And the event itself goes the 26th to the 30th of December, Strathcona Recreation Complex, and they're hoping to have a lot of fans come out and cheer on these kids. So if you have an opportunity to take advantage by going online to benscup.com and then also heading out there and watching these young people play. What level of hockey did you get to, Josh?
I did not get very far.
Was it the skating?
Well, no, I was a fine skater, and I got a hat trick a couple times, which was pretty cool. But I don't know, it just wasn't really for me. So I stopped playing in grade 3.
Okay.
And I think the last time I went skating, probably junior high, because I grew out of all the other skates we had in the house.
Right.
And I couldn't fit into my dad's skates yet because actually at all, because his feet are bigger than mine. So, but working here, Brandon's always talking about
getting you out there
about skating. No, he's not talking about getting me out there, but I'm like, man, like, should probably buy some skates, like
there's they're like outdoor rinks you can just go on to, right?
Oh yeah,
just
like my high school, the track around the practice field for football, In the winter, they freeze it over and they just have like a big
Nice.
lap that you can go skate at.
What sport did you play longest growing up in?
Baseball.
School? Baseball?
I guess technically now it would be curling, but yeah, I played baseball for 10 years.
Yeah. I played baseball through into high school. I loved it.
We didn't have a high school baseball team. There was a slow pitch team.
Soccer I played too. I loved soccer.
I was terrible at soccer.
Oh, it's just a good
Because
game.
it did not have the coordination for that. For some reason, I had the coordination to play hockey.
Yeah. And Declan didn't like to have teammates. They held him back. So he was just like a
He was
boxer or a
just
swimmer.
a swimmer and a boxer
Yeah.
in the not team game. Did you do solo freestyle, or were you like the anchor for a team or something, Deck?
I was a backstroker.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you were.
And in the relay, the backstroker swims lead. So I just swam first, got out of the pool, let everyone. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, hang out on deck. No, listen. I had way more fun playing team sports. Like I played soccer the longest. I started playing soccer when I was probably like 6. Obviously, still rib men's league, not a big deal. Game tonight. Everyone come out watch. 8:15 Eastside Soccer Center.
And how many goals do you score on average in a game?
Are you a striker or a D-man?
I'm a center mid when we play outdoor. In indoor soccer, I switch. I play forward or defense depending on how many guys come out. Because like I said, 9 p.m. men's league. But no, I am a pass first player. I've always been like basketball. I was very pass first. Soccer, I'm very pass first. Never been a goal scorer. Always been a guy who like I'm the Chavy of Edmonton's men's league.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
Guys got to come out and watch if you don't believe me. You'll see me sling the ball.
Sure. Yes, of course, with our very valuable time.
Because 9 o'clock men's league, the only thing better than like playing in the tournament is watching you at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night. I can see that. I have a question
What
for
you
both
just
of you.
said. We hopefully have an answer.
Do you know the nature of Jack Roslovic's injury?
I have watched the Gregor clip more times than I care to watch. So
like the timeline, I've heard after Christmas sometime or whatever. Like I'm hoping that he's been in stasis for the last month, and that they'll slowly bring him out of a coma. Like this is nuts. If he ever plays again. But I didn't even mean to say that, but there you go. But if he ever plays in the NHL again, that would be that's a tough one to.
Yeah, you got to have some serious cojones to come back.
Wouldn't you have great fear of that happening again?
Yeah, retire medically.
And that's.
But isn't more the mindset like, hey, what are the chances this thing can really happen twice?
I guess so. I mean, I do know that one of the reasons Zach Kassian was sent away was that he did not block a shot. Like he got out of the way. And I believe in my heart of hearts that's one.
You listen to Matthew Tkachuk. Don't want to get hit. Stay off the tracks.
But yeah, I don't know that he's going to be back. Have the Jays made an offer on Bichette? It's vague right now. I haven't heard. I know that there's several teams interested, and they're running out of free agents to spend money on. That's what happens in markets, like the Mets, for example. The Mets lost, Alonso, and they traded Nimmo, and then they lost Diaz, the closer. So they need to make headlines because in New York, they signed a reliever today, but it's not a big signing. They have to make some noise. So that's, Tucker, Bichette. There's not that many guys. There's no real pitchers. I guess they could trade for Freddie Peralta or Tariq Skubal. That would be an interesting one. But so there's going to be some heavy hitters in competition, I believe, with the Jays and the free agents they're looking for. Hacksaw says, "Hey, Tide, how Sabres is it that they finally skid Adams and then go hire the poster boy for GM ineptitude, Yarmo?" Well, I mean, he didn't get over the hump in St. Louis or in Columbus, but I think that I think they need somebody with experience, and he has that because he's going to have to trade some of these players, and he has to get something back and create a team. And I think part of it is, I don't think Lindy Ruff makes it to the next level. Do you know what I mean? Like Lindy Ruff is iconic, and he's a prairie boy. I love him for it. And he's had, I remember him as a player, and he was a tough player, man. Played defense and forward, and he was, he wasn't a gifted player, but he was a game rooster. And he's sort of approached his coaching career the same way, and he's had a lot of success. But I do think that it's been too long at the fair, and they probably should try someone else. And I think they should, I know that these two guys are going to roast me for it, but I think they have to get a little more into analytics with their coaching side.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Just saying.
There's value in analytics, but
not what, according to you guys.
Hey, whoa!
Expected goal.
Your dad is Matt Fenwick, and you poo
whoa,
stats all the time.
Whoa! This is not the. I'm just saying that the advanced analytics or analytics do not paint the full story.
Of course not. Nobody ever claimed that, though.
No, nobody ever did. But it seems like sometimes when people bring up analytics, it's like, yeah, well, the analytics can say all they want, but you have to pair it with the eye test, which is where
100%.
I sort of came out with Declan when he was talking about when you guys had your big blowout on Evan Bouchard like 2 months ago or whatever. And he said goals against expected doesn't mean diddly if the 9 out of 10 times he makes the right play is him dumping it away before he goes to the benches. And then that 10th time is him handing the puck to Tage Thompson and Tage Thompson gets a goal.
So do you think Evan Bouchard is a valuable player?
I do think he's a valuable player and what he brings on offense.
Right. So do you think that the defensive gaffes mean that eventually they'll have to trade him because there's so many of them?
No, I don't think so. I never said I did because he's a very talented.
I'm not asking you to be defensive. I'm not trying to attack you.
No.
I'm asking your opinion.
But yeah, there's a lot of value in Evan Bouchard, which is why I don't get when people come in here and say, oh, they should just trade Bouch. I'm like, you literally cannot trade that guy.
No. You can't. You. If there was a complete defenseman out there, like
Cale Makar.
Well, no, like Makar's, like he's the same kind of defenseman, only better than Bouchard. But I'm talking about like a Nick Lidstrom, not quite at that level, but a guy who could do everything: penalty kill, power play, move the puck out, cover well.
Rasmus Anderson. Anybody?
Okay, well, we're into far stuff. All right. Did anybody want to say anything else in that conversation before we move on?
Listen, I don't want to be painted as a non-analytics guy. Like I love Ken Palm. I love Sagarin. I love PER in the NBA. I just think 100% what Josh said. It cannot replace the eye test. And the game is not played on a spreadsheet.
But we can agree that the eye test.
But the eye test can be wrong.
But it can be informed by the analytics. Like I don't look at the numbers while I'm watching the game, but I go to that to confirm what I believe or have it pushed back at me and say, no, like I watched the Henrique line and I don't think they're ever going to score. The analytics suggest that Janmark and Mangiapane together, like they've got like a 50% goal share. I was surprised by that. So I do appreciate that while also not really trusting that line. Is that fair?
No, I totally agree. Is that they go hand in hand and they make the best argument when they're put together. But sometimes your eyes are more right than anything else.
And when you disagree with the eye test via the numbers, then I think it's important to hold on to that thought and then confirm what your eye test said. And in the case of Evan Bouchard, I think if he makes 40 bad mistakes in a year, then he's got to cut it to 20, because the Edmonton Oilers are not so good that they can overcome it in a Stanley Cup final when they're giving the puck away. And by the way, I would just say the puck was given away in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup final by his partner, Matthias Ekholm, and not Evan Bouchard. Okay, on the way, Kevin McCurdy will join us. Duncan with Declan will come up at 1:40, and it's Declanations talking about the NBA. Are we going to talk about the NBA Cup?
Yes, he said. Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for that very quick response.
I said
Well, I didn't hear it because your mic wasn't on.
I don't know.
No, whatever. It's only radio.
Happened last night.
All right.
Thought it didn't need to be said.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. It's time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Custom Floors Inc. Floors done right for homes or businesses. Visit the new showroom, 11577 149th Street, now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 to 2. You can also visit customfloorsinc.ca and bring your next flooring project to life. NHL schedule today, 5 games in the league. Kings and Panthers, Mammoth and Red Wings, Jets and Blues, Hurricanes and Preds, and the Devils in Las Vegas to take on Mitch Marner and the Golden Knights in the late game. That one with an 8 p.m. puck drop. Just 2 games in the NBA, the Cleveland Cavaliers in Chicago to take on the Bulls. A 6 p.m. puck drop for that one. The line currently -5.5 for Cleveland. Memphis in Minnesota as well. Same 6 p.m. tip-off time with the line -8.5 for Minnesota. Tua Tagovailoa has been benched for rookie quarterback Quinn Ewers, the Miami Dolphins organization, after the loss this week where he threw his league-leading 15th interception. And Bo Bichette has informed suitors he's willing to move to second base. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit FountainTire.com today.
Boxing Week blowout starts early at the Brick. Find real Boxing Day prices early and beat the rush on the 26th. Score the best deals on electronics and appliances, plus save up to $1,000 off sectionals. Buy more, save more. Up to 25% off bedroom and dining, and up to 40% off mattresses, and $500 off big screen TV. Don't wait for the crowds. Shop the Brick's Boxing Week early access event. Some exclusions apply. The Brick, saving you more.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Ring in the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. With special guests Haley Benedict and Morgan Kleiber. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. Hosted by Chris Sheets. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot. All because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
Subaru is built for winter. Symmetrical all-wheel drive delivers power with incredible control, stability, and grip. Add 220 millimeters of ground clearance and you're not getting stuck in snowbanks. You'll drive right through them. And inside, luxurious heated seats and a heated steering wheel. Plus, for 19 years in a row, Subaru vehicles have earned top safety pick status, giving you unmatched peace of mind. Subaru is engineered for Canadian winters, built for real-life confidence. Welcome to Uncommon Standards.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event with 0% financing for up to 84 months on most SUVs and trucks and clearance pricing on all 2025s. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com Coming up later on in the hour, we have Declinations Duncan with Declan at 1:40, and we'll definitely pass along your text, marble them through all of those segments, and we'll focus specifically on them a little after 1:20 today. Joined now by our feature guest today, Kevin McCurdy, who is going to talk to us a little bit about the Edmonton Oilers. It's been a weird road trip where I think the Toronto game and last night's game were wildly enjoyable for fans. That Montreal game looks like a blip now, but lessons to be learned there too. What was your take about last night's game? There were so many storylines. Which ones did you like the best?
Well, I liked seeing Leon get his 1,000th point. It's pretty remarkable progress. First team in the NHL with 5 1,000-point players. So that's kind of exciting. Was a little bittersweet. I don't really enjoy beating the tar off former players too much, but there were some pretty surreal moments between McDavid and Draisaitl and the rest of the team and Stuart Skinner at times before the game, after the game, and just some subtle stuff that happened during the game that I think speaks to the respect of all of those parties. Yeah.
I think that and I don't want to, this is one game, so let's not go, too far with this. But I think it's really important, and I wish Stuart Skinner the best, as I think we all do. But it's an important period for him in Pittsburgh. He may not stay there, but coming out of Edmonton, he before the season and certainly after 2 Stanley Cup Finals runs, you could imply or discuss the idea about him getting a multi-year contract and have that contract be fairly handsome. He's in some competition now. They have some young goaltenders. They've also got, Seeloff, so they've got, options available. And it's important for Skinner to play well because he is playing for a contract and he is playing, possibly for a multi-year deal, although that's out on the ether and we don't know about, how long the contract might be at this time.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a transition period for him. I don't think there's any certainty that he'll end up with Pittsburgh at the end. There's a real chance that he gets flipped to another team at the trade deadline. Same with Brett Kulak, and Brett's 31. He's going to be looking for a reasonable amount of term and dollars to finish out his NHL career or approach finishing out his NHL career, depending on how long the term is. So I think that there's a real chance that those are just assets for Pittsburgh to move in the medium term. So we'll see how that plays out, but definitely important for Skinner to cement his value, as a 1B or even 1A on the right team. It just was time for the Oilers to make a change there.
I've liked Tristan Jarry's play. I think that the team has let him down late in his 2 games, allowing some goals in garbage time where they were not terribly attentive. And that is a discipline problem that we are familiar with, those of us who've watched the Oilers over time. What's your overall take on Jarry 2 games into his Oilers career?
I like a lot of what I see. His puck tracking is pretty good. I do like that he is more of a puck handling goalie, which can be really helpful on the penalty kill or in other situations. It gives me some Mike Smith vibes, although they were both their individual selves, I guess. The issue that the one thing that concerns me about Jarry is his injuries and his injury future, I guess, if that's something I can bring up. Like his the other day, the first game he played with us, he tweaked something and he visibly went over to the athletic trainer for guidance and ended up staying in the game. But that's just that's a tough look, one game into a brand new goaltender that the fan base has been practically begging for what seems like forever now. And I just hope that that's not something that's going to become a recurring issue for him here.
The Oilers have spent their money. There are very few players without a no movement clause on the roster. There's not a giant pile of money that's going to be available to them to find a number 3 center or a backup goaltender if Calvin Pickard is not able to recover, and play at previous levels. And there's certainly not enough money to go out and get another goaltender like today, who would be considered to be, a clear upgrade, who made like a lot or some money. How do you see Stan Bowman working around the current cap issues as we head to the deadline with a laundry list that isn't as large, because they did pick up a defenseman and they did pick up a starting goaltender, but as you say, injuries can occur in net and other places, and they have pretty much spent the money. There's not a lot of walking around money for the Oilers. Where do you see possibly the Oilers going if they do need a center or maybe even a goaltender?
Well, there is still a little bit of money to be cleared up potentially. It is kind of a dollar in, dollar out scenario. You'd be looking, you have to wonder if David Tomashek is going to be here by the end of the year, or if he's going to be in Bakersfield or on another team, or if he finds his stride here. I don't believe that he's been given as much opportunity as he's probably deserved, but he also hasn't been. He's been struggling to produce at the NHL level, which is not super surprising, but can't say he's looked totally out of place either. You can always look at Calvin Pickard's $1 million salary. If they move him to Bakersfield, then you have at least that much to consider bringing in another goalie, whether there's retention involved or otherwise. I think you're mostly right. I think the Oilers for now have shot their shot, and it's, if there is a pressing need coming up in later in the year, then they're going to have to really work, whether they convince somebody to waive, or, I guess you would look at Henrique to waive his no movement clause, or potentially Janmark, because I believe he has a 10 team list. So those are areas where they could, but that, you are making a gamble by making those moves to an extent, and I'm not sure that the Oilers are going to be able to take any more big swings this year.
One of the areas, Kevin McCurdy, our guest, one of the areas that I look at is third line center, where, I've been looking at the numbers, and in recent days, Janmark, Mangiapane, when they play together, they're at 50% goal share, and I think 56% expected at 5-on-5. But Henrique is having a hard time. Nuge, I think, would be the guy to slide down to the third line at center, maybe put Henrique up there, but maybe not. But the overriding thing is that McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, and then Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Savoy, are both looking like lines you can go to war with. And I don't know that they should touch them. So what's your thoughts on moving Nuge at all, or just leaving that top two lines together and just enjoying the run while it's there?
50-50. I really do like Nuge's 3C. I think that the bottom six is a graveyard right now. There's nothing happening. And that is something they're not going to be able to go into the playoffs with it looking like that. So I don't know if they look at maybe trying to make a third line out of Quinn Hudson and a couple of more guys from Bakersfield, or, dancing the pieces around a little bit. But, I've not, a lot of the bottom six is heavily underwater in Corsi and expected goals. And it's just, there's nothing happening right now. So that's their choice, right? Their one option is to go to Baco right now.
My blog is awash with anger and rage about the very, very few minutes that Quinn Hudson played yesterday. I knew they weren't going to break up those top two lines. I thought they'd play more. Curtis Lazar's injury and then incredible return might have had something to do with the sparse usage of Hudson. But we know that Chris Knobloch isn't, a guy who trumpets or plays young players quickly out of the box. We saw that with Ike Howard, and we've seen it before this year too. Did you object to the lack of time for Hudson, and would you like him to play more as this, little cup of coffee audition that he has going? Would you like to see him play more? Should he get some more games?
Sure, I'd like to see the Oilers not take 10 penalties either, because, when the penalty kill is out there for an entire period of the game or thereabouts, it's pretty difficult to get a guy who's not on the penalty kill out there playing ice time. In fact, the fact that he got, 6 minutes, 58 seconds of ice time with as many penalties as they took tells me that they did try to get him out there some, and I did see him some. Could there be more? Yes, but the Oilers need to be more disciplined and not taking stupid penalties for him to get more ice time, unless he's going to join the penalty kill squad.
He did look good. He had a shift with McDavid, and he did some things. I mean, that you can see that there's a player there. They just got to kind of, bring him along while also bringing. I think they can trust Savoy now. Is that fair, or am I over?
Yeah, absolutely. No, Savoy is earned. He is an NHL player. I have no doubt that he will finish the season on the NHL squad. He's like in the tops. He's bringing the expected goals number, and his actual offensive numbers are matching. Like he is bringing it every single game. I actually want to talk about Quinn Hudson for a second, because you have to look at, Savoy is a great example. At the beginning of the season, he was not playing in the top six. He started at the very bottom of the roster, and he worked his way up to where he is now, which is playing with Leon Draisaitl. So I think that same path is there, but I'm not surprised they didn't just hand it to him either, right? Put him on the fourth line, put him on the third line, and let him work his way up the roster. If he's got the skill, which for all intents and purposes we think that he does, he's not going to have any issue earning a spot in the top six.
And I would be more likely to move him up, but the top two lines are absolutely flattening the opposition. So when your skill guys are delivering at the level that they're delivering, I would have if they had done something with the top two lines for any reason. Going into last night, I would have actually openly questioned the coach. They're going well. Leave them alone. Play them.
Yeah, and even Leon's line struggled a little bit, at times. Not Leon himself, because he got pushed up with McDavid for some of that game. But, if you just comparatively, the top two lines are somewhere between 50 and 65% Corsi, and the bottom two lines are in the 30s, right? It's a big deal. And so if you're relying on the top two lines to provide your offensive output, splitting them up is hard to do, especially when they need to win some hockey games. So to your point, I think they need to move Quinn Hudson to the third line, and I think they need to put some skill with him in whatever capacity that they can come up with, and then see if he can push his way into the top six from there.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things that we do when we're watching teams is we slot the lines as, okay, this is the top line, this is the second line, this is the third line. Yeah. And in terms of ice time last night, that was absolutely accurate. But if you look at the Edmonton Oilers since, let's say December 1st, let's just go from December 1st to last night's game. It's interesting to me. We're kind of seeing it, and I'm really hoping that we don't get some bad injury news here. But if you look at the numbers for Curtis Lazar, and it's just 57 minutes in that time in December, but in those 57 minutes, the Oilers have outscored 2-1. They have a 51% expected goal share, whereas with Henrique, it just doesn't feel like it's there to me. Do you think it's worth Henrique moving to left wing and Nuge moving down? Do you think Henrique could handle the McDavid line?
I don't know. I'm not sure his foot speed is where it needs to be for that. What they need to do is get Trent Frederick away from Adam Henrique. That pairing together, I haven't looked at the with and without for it recently, but that is an absolute wasteland. To be frankly unkind about it. There's not good hockey being had when both of those two guys are on the ice together. So split them up. Let's see if we can get something else going.
And they did that last night.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll say this, and I come into this telling everybody that I'm a Trent Frederick truther, or whatever you want to say. I support him as a player, but I also know that his foot speed is down. He's not getting to plays. He last night he had a really poor play. The video is just extremely damning. At 5-on-5 this year so far with Frederick on the ice, the Oilers are at 32% goal share. Off the ice, they're at 50%. I wonder how long they can keep playing him even on the fourth line.
I think it's time for him to sit in the press box for a game. or a couple of games. I think he needs to have some rationalization to what his role is on this team and what is expected of him for the contract that he signed. Because as it sits right now, I think the Oilers are looking at the ugliest buyout that they've ever faced, and that's saying something. I don't know what else to say. Like he needs to generate, and he needs to start playing good hockey game in and game out. We playing him well for the role that he's supposed to be in. We gave him clauses and terms and money to be a somewhat power forward archetype player, and we're not seeing any of that. And that needs to change. And I think that, realistically at this point, I think the option for everybody involved is for him to watch a couple games in the press box.
I think that's fair. I think it's also fair to say that the last I had it last hour and I don't have it in front of me, but I think the last time he tweaked that high ankle sprain was like April 7th. And so I don't know what the timeline of recovery is, but I know a lot of folks are saying, well, he hurt himself in Boston and he should be better by now. Looking just at NHL Edge, which is a simple straight speed rating, he is off from a year ago. And I do wonder how long, it's going to take him to recover from it. I was asked this question last hour. I'll ask you this question. Declan asked me, I'll ask you. At what point do you say, okay, this is a sunk cost and this is as good as it gets? And then it does start to talk about, maybe bring up the subject of buying out a contract that will, the final year of the buyout will happen when I am long gone in the old folks home.
Yeah, I don't know if we're there yet. My previous comment's pretty harsh. Anytime you're threatening an 8-year contract player with press box time, that's something that should make them get their attention. That said, high ankle sprain's a brutal injury. Leon was able to play through it, but it was painful to watch, and I don't expect that is necessarily 100% better for Frederick either. That said, I think there is a mental block on this a little bit. He plays like he's worried about trusting the ankle, and it's starting to show in tracking data even. So is that tracking data because his ankle's hurt, or is it tracking data because something's hurt between his ears, right? I don't know. But something needs to change, and he needs to find his groove and figure out what he is to this roster, and he needs to do it, reasonably quickly.
Final question for you, Kevin McCurdy, our guest. At the beginning of the month, I suggested the Oilers would go 9-3-3 this month, and they're actually right on schedule based on the wins and losses that I tracked. They're 5-2-1, 11 points in 8 games. Are you, after the moves that have been made, aside from center, which we've talked about, and Frederick, which we've talked about, are there any areas of this team that you're concerned about in terms of improving by the deadline?
Yeah, right defense, specifically second and third pairing right defense. I think Emberson is a lock for this team. I think him and Stastny have actually been fairly good together so far, so that's a good start. I don't 100%. I'm somebody who quite likes Alec Regula as a player. I like how he uses the ice and uses his brain to make good plays, but his foot speed is getting him roasted a couple of times a game at the moment, and that's not sustainable into the playoffs. So that's either going to need to improve drastically, or he's at risk becoming number 7, which leaves the fourth or second right defenseman kind of still a question mark all these years later.
Do you like Wallman in that spot, or would you rather he move over to the left side?
I mean, how do you play the rest of it then? Because if you put Wallman over on the left, you either have to move Nurse or Ekholm to the right. Honestly, what I would like to see is Wallman and Bouchard and Ekholm and Emberson together as your top 4, and then we'll see, Stastny and somebody else, so I guess Nurse, and figure out who's going to play their offside out of those two.
I've written about this and I've suggested it and I've talked about it. I'll ask you. A lot of people balk when I say it, but I think entering the playoffs this spring, if the Oilers coaching staff decides to have Darnell Nurse on the third pair, people should not be surprised.
I wouldn't be the least bit surprised either. And Darnell Nurse is a pretty dang good hockey player. It's just not ever been what the contract was going to be, and I don't fault him for signing the contract. I'm pretty sure anybody that had an 8-year, $9.25 million deal put in front of them would probably sign on the dotted line too. That being said, there is a standard that he often doesn't live up to, and it costs this team on a near game basis. And you know what? He's not always at fault. There'll be people out there that'll call me out for saying it's all Nurse's fault when it's not. But he is on the ice for a ghastly number of goals against, regardless of whether he's directly at fault or not. And that is a net hindrance on the team overall. And I don't know how you fix that besides moving his responsibility down.
Yeah, and that's fair. Thanks for this. I took you longer, but you were interesting. It's your fault.
No, I guess I'll accept that for what it is.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good week, everyone.
You too. That's Kevin McCurdy. We'll take a break. Your comments next. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Mr. Rooter decorates a gingerbread house.
Wow. What did you do here, Mr. Rooter?
Well, we've got a Jube Jube toilet, complete with an icing-based wax seal. The main water line is licorice, red for hot, black for cold. You got your standard marshmallow hot water tank and a candy cane sewer line. And on the outside, candy corn hose bibs. Disgusting, but they get the job done.
To have your Yule clogs fixed, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
We want orange. Give us the orange. We want orange. Bring back the orange.
You got it, Canada. Booster Juice orange smoothies are back by popular demand. The original, the marathon, and orangesicle smoothies are back and bursting with tangy zest of oranges. They're Canadian favorites. Orange, you glad they're back? Only for a limited time. So squeeze the day, smoothie lovers, and head to a Booster Juice near you now. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
He's a winner.
Sweet.
She's a winner too.
Right.
Everyone's a winner during Wish and Win at Wolf GMC Buick. Every single customer is guaranteed at least a $500 bonus with a chance to save up to $25,000 towards a new GMC or Buick. At Wolf GMC Buick, we also have 0% financing up to 84 months on most of our popular SUVs and trucks. And we're clearing out remaining 25s, including cash discounts up to $10,000 on a great selection of Sierra HDs. 90 seconds east of the Henday. Wolf GMC Buick, where everyone wins.
After 20 years, Canada's most prestigious international hockey tournament returns. The Camrose Viking Cup, December 28th to January 4th at Encana Arena. Tickets at vikingcup.ca. Brought to you by Sports 1440.
Vinny and Don in Hockey are dedicated to skill development for all hockey players. If you know a student athlete interested in growing as a person and a player, register for a free shadow day. Beginner or experienced, this program develops a student athlete skill in a supportive environment. It's a great opportunity for prospective student athletes entering grades 3 through 12 to see what Vimy and Donnan have to offer. Visit vimyridge.epsb.ca or donnan.epsb.ca for more info and to sign up.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
Merry Christmas from Annie Gas Compression Consulting in Wetaskiwin. The management and staff would like to wish you a peaceful and happy holiday season. They thank you for your patronage this year and look forward to seeing you in 2026. Season's greetings from everyone at Annie Gas.
Wetaskiwin Ready Mix hopes all your relationships with family and friends are as solid as concrete this season. And remember, quality concrete isn't cheap. Cheap concrete isn't quality. Merry Christmas from all the management and staff at Wetaskiwin Ready Mix.
The Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440. Can you fit Sports Encyclopedia on a business card?
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440, brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Check out their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner at wolfgmcbuick.com. You guys excited about the Olympics yet, or is it just a nest and bell?
I'm a Summer Olympics guy.
That's not surprising. Boxing is a Summer Olympic sport, right?
Yeah.
And-
Swimming and all that.
Yeah, track and
There's nothing like the 100-meter final.
baseball.
Flag football now.
Yeah,
There's no baseball anymore.
I know, but there used to be. Tommy Lasorda at the Olympics. That was something.
Better days.
We were talking to young Kevin McCurdy about Darnell Nurse. And Nurse, by the way, 58% goal share in December at 5-on-5. But overall, this year, he's at 46%, which honestly, on this team, that's a concern for your second pair. Why not Nurse and Bouchard? Numbers support it. Yeah, but I think that you I think Ekholm has calm feet compared to Nurse, and I think Wallman does too. And I think Bouchard should have as little chaos as possible as a partner. That's just how I feel. And I understand that Nurse, Evan, Bouchard, I'll just run the numbers here, over several years have been pretty darn good. And I get that and I understand it. But I don't know that I'm comfortable with it. And that's the eye test. But I mean, it's certainly there if they want to do it. Yeah, like there's 60% goal share, but in 261 minutes, that's a small sample since 23-24. And Ekholm has been, doing most of the time. LT, how great would 6'6", 230-pound Justin Brazeau look on Leon's wing with Podkolzin, especially at $1.5 million from Joe Daddy? Yeah, it's true, but I think Matt Savoy's doing okay. His numbers have been getting much better, and he offers that line a little different look. But I would never say no to Brazeau. I always say, and some people will disagree with this, but if a big player can play and help you outscore, then giddy up. You probably would prefer the big player over the smaller one. Baseball and softball are back in LA. Is that true at the Olympics?
That is true.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, baby. That and the World Baseball Classic next summer. No, not next summer, but next year. I think the World Baseball Classic
it's
back,
like in
right?
February.
Yeah, that would sound right.
Yeah, I know that I'm watching the American team get named right now.
Yeah, Vladdy's playing for the Dominican team.
Yeah, Nolan McLean, the young pitcher from the Mets, is playing for Team USA. So is Joe Ryan.
Yeah.
So I enjoy watching those. Shohei,
Oh well, I mean the last World Baseball Classic, like you couldn't write it any better. Japan versus the U.S. and the final out of the game was Shohei Ohtani versus Mike Trout when they were still on the same team.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, let's see who does what. And Shohei and Team Japan came out victorious. It was super fun. I loved watching that game. But
it's nice because I like anything that happens before the actual year starts, because it just gets that's the thing about the 72 series that people forget. That was played in September. It was before the season began, which was a blast because you were like, oh my God, and I was worried about Bobby Orr. I spent my childhood worrying about Bobby Orr's knees.
Rightfully so.
I would have been a doctor, but I wrote too well. I was too legible.
Yeah, that's what that problem was. For sure. I wanted to be a doctor, but I was far too good a writer.
I was so good. So glad that you're not on camera right now, because your raised eyebrows were quite the tell about how you really felt about that statement that I made. I don't believe Nuge can drive a third line by himself, says Nick. I'd love to see Nuge and Hyman together on the third line, have some combo of Roslovic, Mangiapane, Howard on the first line. I think you keep McDavid and Hyman together. I would prefer to have Nuge there and at number 3 center. That won't work. What you are hoping is that Ike Howard can take over that job. And if he can't, I think he's vulnerable to trade. That's just my honest opinion. The Oilers are going to get to the deadline and they're going to want to add a player, and that player might be available, but picks and young players are what drives deals at the deadline. And so, players under control. And Ike Howard is one of those. And he didn't get much of an audition, I admit that. But, if we don't see him, the longer we don't see him, and he's playing well in Bakersfield, he's a good player. He's going to play in the National Hockey League. He's a talent. I would not trade him. But how many assets do the Oilers have that teams are going to say, okay, you want this, we'll take that? I think Ike Howard's one of them. Is there a chance the Oilers can get Alex Lyon? I mean, any of these goaltenders, for sure, you can go get. You've got to be obviously aware of their cost, their cap hit. But I think he's 1.5, and that's doable. And maybe you do that at the deadline. But I think they're going to give Calvin Pickard every opportunity. He has struggled. Ricky and the Donut, late to the party, but thought I'd chime in. Watching the team celebrate beside a dejected Skinner was hard to watch. Even though the pros make gazillions, living a privileged life, they are still human. Maybe I'm just a cold old bleep.
That's exactly what you are.
Thank you. But I didn't feel that way at all. I felt like, that was his role. I understood that he'd been part of the team for some time. But Stuart Skinner had the opportunity and was given all kinds of opportunity, and the organization felt that he was found wanting. So isn't that what it's about? I mean, one day they're going to come in here and they're going to say, we need your pass. You are no longer going to work here. And that's happened to me before. And it's like, it's not a lot of fun, but it's also life. And Stuart Skinner, I think, I always supported him. I very late in his time in Edmonton, I said, okay, well, they probably need to get a better partner in here for him. I think he will have success in the NHL and other cities. I don't know if it's in Pittsburgh, because like Devin Dubnyk, he might have to spend some time getting his career back on track. And Pittsburgh's tough because they've got young goaltenders, and they've got another goalie in Seeloffs who is, basically another version of Stuart Skinner.
Here's my thing about Shelovs, okay? Last year, he was playing in the AHL.
You're starting to sound like Chris Collinsworth.
All right. Now, here's a guy. Last year in the AHL final, he basically lost them the game, except for whatever reason, for reasons unbeknownst to me and the rest of the people that watched the AHL final. He has his back turned to the play, getting water, and lets in a goal because he's not paying attention. And the refs are like, no, doesn't count. What? Like, this is a guy that did that.
Well, maybe he was thirsty.
And yeah, I get it. Okay, he won a couple games in the playoffs 2 years ago with the Canucks. But those games, I wouldn't exactly say they were impressive showings from a goalie on either side. They were gun shows.
Yeah, but goaltenders are like right now, your man Wolf is not having a great year.
No, but he's better than that.
I understand.
But that's also a homer pick.
I understand, but there are people, I'm sure, who feel the same way about Shelovs. Can you honestly say, give me 5 goaltenders you flat out know you'll bet Gregor's house are going to be great goalies in 26-27 in the NHL? Give me 5 names.
That's a wonderful question.
And it's Gregor's house.
Demko.
If he's
Thompson. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You said good. If he's good in the games he plays, he's good. But I get it. The best ability is availability. Logan Thompson, I think he's going to be nails.
That's 2.
Shesterkin.
3.
Oh man, I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah,
Sorokin.
because he doesn't exist. Oh, okay,
Sorokin. And Dustin Wolf is going to be absolute in the next year.
All right.
No, but Darcy Kemper, I think, will be good.
As long as he doesn't get run in the net.
Or actually, what are we even talking about here? Connor Hellebuyck.
You know what's crazy? When you guys said 26, 27, I was like, whoa, this 5 years down the road hypothetical. That's crazy. I was like, my goodness, that's next season.
Next season, Connor Hellebuyck.
Yep. Yeah.
So I named you 6.
Until the playoffs.
And then Dustin Wolf.
No, come on.
Facts.
I like Wolf
Jari,
a lot.
by the way. Have some faith, you two.
It's show me. One thing I have to say, though, is anybody starts bitching about Tristan Jari, I'm going to go, oh, wait a minute.
Hey.
Wait a minute. I thought the problem was Stuart Skinner, and now it's over.
No, like
it's never over.
No.
If he plays badly,
nobody can say anything bad about Tristan Jarry now because Stuart Skinner's gone.
Not
that's
true.
it.
If he plays badly, you're allowed
You
to
get
talk
your
badly about him.
one. This is your one. Now that's it. Everybody, Tristan Jarry's it. What if he's worse than Stuart Skinner?
He
What
might
in
be,
hell
I
are
don't
you
know.
going to write online after that happens?
That it
Fire
was, that it
Bowman?
was that it was a mistake and we gave up way too much for a worse goaltender, and that will probably be the correct take.
What,
So
Fire
when
Bowman?
will Oilers fans be happy?
Never.
Okay. I think we have our answer. Speaking of, we're going to get to declinations. Duncan with Declan straight ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Do you work for a company that wants to reach people who love sports? Or maybe you're looking to hire people who love sports. Sports 1440 partners with dozens of local businesses, connecting with tens of thousands of Edmonton sports fans every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. Contact our sales team today to see what Sports 1440 can do for you. Email Gregor at sports1440.ca to get started.
At Fountain Tire, success is a team effort. They're committed to their team members and their customers. And that means treating your vehicle like it's their own and finding solutions that suit your needs. Because whatever the road brings ahead, they're on it with you. Visit fountaintire.com today.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Yeah. We're brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Hurry in for their Wish and Win event. Everyone's a winner right now. WolfGMCBuick.com. I don't know if we're going to talk about the NBA Cup. I asked him earlier, and he didn't really say, but I'm hoping as we step into declinations, Duncan with Declan, presented by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca, article, podcast, and more, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth double-E football coverage online, elksnation.ca. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as advertised, Declan R. Krueger.
Oh, close. MD.
Oh.
Declan MD.
Medical doctor?
Certainly sounds like it, doesn't it? I like to play that.
It's Michael
that joke,
David.
Too. Very close.
I know
Very
what your
close.
what the D is because your Facebook's open on the
Donald?
computer. No.
Derek?
No.
Delilah?
No.
Dorshnen?
Oh, my God. I can't believe you guessed it.
What do you think it is?
Is it not Dean?
No. Lowetide had it. It's Donald.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah.
That's what my uncle, oh my God, not my uncle. My grandpa's middle name is.
Well, Uncle Grandpa.
No, wait, first name. His middle name is Bruce, but he goes by Bruce.
I'm named after, my grandparents, Michael Donald.
That's a good name. And Declan after Elvis Costello, right?
Yes, absolutely. It was almost Declan Lane Allen, but
You're
went a different direction.
Lane Allen, that's my name.
Let's see Lane Allen's card.
Yes.
I want to kind of go down the league here and talk about some of these teams. Obviously, get Josh's take on it. I know he watches. We're dunking with Declan. We're jamming with Josh. I want to go down some of the teams in each conference and just give my thoughts on them this season because we're a little.
Do you have the 76ers in there?
A little past the quarter mark. I'll probably do like the top 6 teams in each conference, so the 76ers will fall into there. I also want to get to this by Huss because you would ask about the NBA Cup, and we had talked about it earlier, and he comes in with the text. The NBA Cup has been better than I thought it would be. you think the hype will level off or continue to grow in the future? Like, kind of like I said earlier, I think Josh and Lowetide disagree with me a little bit. I think the NBA Cup will continue to grow. Like, I think players are going to really care about it, and it is going to mean something. Again, if you're just tuning in,
I don't really have an opinion. I was asking because I don't know.
yeah, like if you're just tuning in, it'll never mean as much accomplishment-wise or accolade-wise as a championship. It won't mean as much as an individual award, a la an MVP or an All-NBA first team. But like, it's going to mean something, and you can tell the way these players play. It means something. And I'll also throw this out there. Like, the fact it's been 3 good teams who won it, and it hasn't been the Atlanta Hawks and, the New Orleans Pelicans. Like, obviously those are just bad teams, but it shows that players care and they're actually trying to win it. So I think it's gonna continue, and it's gonna mean something. Okay. I want to start in the East. The Detroit Pistons, man, they have been so much fun to watch this year. Like, Cade Cunningham is such a player, deserves to be top 5 in MVP, one of the best one guards in the league, such a great distributor of the ball, but can score it at such a high clip as well. I wanted to check his efficiency. I had it pulled up. I hate that I'm pausing here, but yeah, 32% from 3, 45% from the field, nearly 46%. He's not the most efficient guy, and he's kind of a shot heavy guy, but he still makes it look good. Like, there are some ugly scores. Like, Carmelo Anthony was always a really ugly scorer. Kobe was a really ugly scorer because they just took so many shots. They were such volume players. Cade, like, I guess kind of falls into that based on his numbers, but when you watch him play, he doesn't look like it. Like, he looks like he plays the game the right way and takes the right shot. Like, I don't think Detroit is a team that can win an NBA title, but like, the way they're playing is such, I mean, they're 21-5 through 26 games. They're scoring nearly 120 a game. Like, they're the best team in the NBA record-wise outside of the OKC Thunder. And obviously OKC's been such a marvel, and it's kind of been predetermined they're going to win the championship by people like me, that we're not talking about Detroit as much. But like, what they're doing and what Cade is doing without a true second superstar, like, with all respect to Durant and Thompson, I'm not even going to say with respect to Tobias Harris, like, he's doing it without a real number 2 on that team. And they're making it look easy. Like, a lot of games they win and you're like, they're not fluking into wins. They're not winning games because the other team played bad. Like, they're winning games and you're like, wow, that's a really good basketball team. I'm really impressed with them.
The Cade Cunningham tape is impressive, but this is more like, this Pistons team is more like that Clippers team from a few years back, the 2019 Clippers, where it was like their best player was Lou Williams.
Yeah.
And then it was just solid all the way through.
Cade's so much better.
Cade is so much better than Lou Williams. And like, no offense to no offense to Montrezl Harrell, but like, Durant Durant is so much better than him. And
that's a good comparison, though.
They're
like the makeup.
They're like a upper echelon, next level version of that team with one guy around and then a bunch of super solid guys.
Yes.
The only problem is their depth.
My white boy, Duncan Robinson.
Yeah,
shooting the lights out.
Former member of the Miami Heat.
Former Michigan Wolverine.
I came away same as you. The Pistons are very impressive.
The Knicks, they're second in the East right now. I have long kind of been of the opinion, like last year we talked about in the playoffs, like, no, this team cannot win the championship. And I think a big reason for that is honestly, in the last like 45 years, probably longer than that, honestly, you could argue ever, at the very minimum into the mid 70s. Like, there has not been a team outside of the 2004 Pistons that has not won with a transcendent superstar. And I don't feel like Jalen Brunson is in that category as good as he is. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns is in that category as good as he is. And that's been the reason I've held back on the Knicks being able to win an NBA title. I don't think the Knicks will win the NBA title, but I'm now starting to shift my thinking to believing they can. And it's really because of the team makeup. Like, they're a much different team than OKC. And I think like they're a worse team than OKC with respect to them. They're 18-7, but they kind of have the thing OKC does where they have a lot of pieces everywhere. Like, they have great wing defenders in Hart and OG. They have a guy who can just take over and score in Jalen Brunson. They have a guy who's very dominant offensively in the low post in Karl Anthony Towns. Like, their defense can be a little bit troublesome. They're playing at an unbelievable clip right now. And we saw it in the fourth quarter of the NBA Cup game last night. Like, they were down going into that one. They got hot, and I'm starting to really shift my thinking on this Knicks team from being like, listen, they're a good team. They're going to be a good team in the regular season. They're going to make the playoffs, but they can't win the title. I'm starting to shift my thinking a little bit to like, no, hold on a second. If the chips all fall right, and they would have to fall right, and they're obviously tough against it from who's going to come out of the West, but I actually do think makeup-wise, they could win a title.
Which would be huge. 73 was the last time?
73. I don't think they will, but I think they actually could.
They're in the window.
They could. Obviously, it relies on the Thunder being knocked out, and the Nuggets.
Shea
honestly.
breaking both his legs and arms would be
yeah,
huge.
yeah. Basically, it has to be that. The signing of Mike Brown as their head coach is really what turned this around.
Yep.
I think. Oh God, I'm totally Tibbs. Tibbs is a good coach, but he has one problem. He doesn't trust anybody outside of his starting lineup. And so that can
44 minutes a night.
The fact that Jalen Brunson did not tear his ACL or Achilles last year like everybody else when he was playing.
Honestly, it's a marvel.
50 minutes a night, basically. Like, yeah, I know that's more minutes than there are in an NBA game, but you know what I mean. Yeah, you're right. It's a marvel. And so bringing in a guy like Mike Brown, his first year with the Kings had an amazing offense and they were very sound defensively. And then it seemed like people got not wise, but like the Kings just sort of lackadaisical.
Speaking of the
energy.
Kings, man, talk about a team who finally got out of the dumpster and went right back.
Yeah, right. Light the beam, and now they're 6-20.
Oh, they had
the biggest
turned
mistake in their
around so well.
franchise's history, trading away Tyrese Halliburton. But yeah, I really like the Knicks. My only problem with them though is their away record. They're so bad on the road.
Like 4-6 on the road this year.
4-6 on the road. They started.
Right
They couldn't win on the road until I think it was their 5th game on the road. They were 0-5 to start the year, and then they got their first win.
4-2.
4-6, and yeah, so 4-2 in their last. Yeah, but still, I have a problem with them on the road. One of them is counted as the NBA Cup game, however. On the road.
I'm realizing now we're probably only gonna get to the East in this segment. We'll do the West next Wednesday.
Okay.
Raptors. Listen, man, credit to the Raptors for being 3rd in the East, 27 games into the season at 16-11. I had a lot of issues with Brandon Ingram. I didn't like the fit. He's a ball dominant guy who's going to score, but he's not that great of a player, with all respect. But he came in and he fit well. And I thought one big issue the Raptors had last year was an identity. And I thought Darko really came in this year and gave this team an identity. They've come back to earth in their last 10. They're 4-6 now. I don't think they're going to be any type of real threat in the playoffs, but something like the number one thing that held them back, or at least one of the top things that held them back, was having an identity. And they have that now. And so I give Darko a lot of credit, because his first year, it was choppy and they looked rough and the expectations were low this year. But they're pacing well now, and I give them a lot of credit.
Entirely new system for the Raptors,
yes.
than they had been playing in the Nick Nurse era, and so it was tough to watch them last year. But now, watching their offense this year and how it flows, and not just their offense but their defense is last year was just growing pains because they were learning an entirely new way of playing basketball, and now you're right, they came back down to earth, and it's all because RJ Barrett is out.
Yeah,
their
numbers with him are terrible.
Their what?
Their win-loss with him is terrible.
Oh God,
and he's a good player, in principle.
In principle, he's such a. I've watched not all the tape, but I've watched a lot of it.
You've been grinding tape.
I've been grinding some tape, but man, I can't pinpoint it, but there's something very important to this offense that RJ Barrett is the main proprietor of. Because Brandon Ingram is the guy who's like, yep, all right, we'll just get him his shots where he takes them. RJ Barrett's like, I will take a shot where you need me to take the shot.
Man, this is the other thing with the Raps. I was just looking. I wasn't just looking. I heard this on Rosillo the other day. They have so much money tied up in, they have so many payers played who wouldn't get paid by other teams, really. Like Scotty Barnes, $38 million. Brandon Ingram,
Barnes would get paid.
He would. Scotty Barnes, $38 million. Brandon Ingram, $38 million. Emmanuel Quickley, $32.5 million. RJ Barrett, $27.7 million. Jakob Poeltl, $19.5 million. That's $100 million tied up. That's more than $100 million tied up in 5 guys that would not be worth $100 million on like any other roster in the NBA, save for maybe the Pelicans or the Kings or something.
Jakob Poeltl is a $12 million a year center.
Yeah,
because he can't shoot, and you need to be able to shoot.
He's getting 19 points. He's getting 19.5, and it can actually go up to 20 with incentives. Like, I don't think RJ Barrett. I like him. He's not a $27.7 million a year player.
I think with the rising cap, that's what the going rate. A $27 million guy now is like what a
$16 million player. But
$16 million guy would have been 10 years ago.
But I don't like. Do you think in 2015 he's a $16 million player? Like, no way.
I think just watching the way he plays and the way he cuts to the basket, I think.
Also, the numbers,
and
really,
he's a much better shooter now.
The numbers also really just don't, like, what they do win-loss wise doesn't really support him.
What is Connor doing?
He's getting ready for the Krueger show. They have a very important guest coming on at 2:00. Business of Sport starting at 2.
Should we
We
get it
definitely
out of the
should.
way?
It is Steve Kasten.
Stan
Kasten.
Oh my
President,
God, really?
CEO and part owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Wow, that's massive.
So, him and Rich Winter kicking off the Krueger show today, 2 to 3. Stan
Kasten and Winter, both of them have tremendous resumes.
Oh yeah.
By the way, it's Christmas, and this for some reason it hit me wrong. The Cleveland Guardians have designated John Kenzie Noel for assignment, DFA'd him. His nickname is Big Christmas. It would be bad form.
Irresponsible of you.
Right, to do that, and yet the Cleveland Guardians have done it. They picked up a pitcher from Toronto. Now, we are going to get the bloody Blue Blazes out of the way because sports royalty is going to be here in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. So we will thank you so much for tuning into the Lowdown and remind you we'll be back tomorrow with Bagged Milk and preview the Boston Bruins and the Edmonton Oilers from Boston. We'll do that tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by meals.loca.ca. Dinner just got a whole lot easier and a whole lot tastier. Head to meals.loca.ca. Select the number of chef craft